Hi there, this is Ed Herzog, and in today's video what I want to do is I want to give you basically a tutorial of FastComet web hosting. Now this was something that was requested by a viewer of mine. He had taken a look at my review of FastComet web hosting and he said what he really needed was a tutorial on how to use FastComet. And he said he'd looked and he wasn't able to find one. So I figured, okay, that's something I can go ahead and do. That being said, I do want to say up front that what I'm going to be showing really in many ways isn't a tutorial on how to use FastComet so much as it is a tutorial on how to use cPanel, which is a software behind FastComet and a lot of other hosting systems. So even if you don't use FastComet, this video could be of use to you. Second thing I want to say is that I'm not going to show you every single thing that cPanel does. If you've ever looked at cPanel, there are a lot of different apps, and I've been on WordPress, using WordPress for about 7 years. I've always had access to cPanel, and I only use a very small fraction of the apps. So I'm going to be showing you the ones that I personally find most useful. Also, because I use WordPress, a lot of what I'm going to be showing you is particular to WordPress. There may be a few things that are universal if you're not using WordPress. I will put timestamps in the video description. That way, if you want to skip to different sections, if they're, depending on what you're interested in terms of how to use cPanel, you can just skip forward to see what you want to see. So that's it. Let me switch over to my FastComet/cPanel. So first, here I am inside of my FastComet hosting account inside of cPanel, and I'll just give you first a very quick overview. You can see here you've got all sorts of different apps organized by categories. You've got files, you've got Jet Backup, databases, SEO and marketing tools, domains, email, metrics, security, software, advanced preferences, FastComet website builder themes, I don't know how to pronounce that, Softaculius apps installer. We'll be looking at that later because that's how you install WordPress. And then here it says Planet WordPress. So you've got all those things there. And then, you can just click on whichever one you want. If you need to go back to this page here, you can click this kind of 9 icon thing up here that says Home. Here you get some general information about your account. So, it gives you your username, your primary domain, IP address, etc. Here it gives you stats, file usage, disk usage, etc. So you get all this. I never look at any of this, but it's there for some reason. It's of interest to you. That's it. So this is, right here, basic overview. And, if you want to find something really quickly, you just type it right in there. If I want my file manager, boom. Or it gives me here's file backups. If I want things related to PHP, I click that or type that in, and then I get things related to PHP. So that's kind of a basic overview of this. Now we'll kind of dive in and take a look at some of the specific apps here that are on cPanel/FastComet. So let's first take a look at domains. So I'm going to come up here and type in domains, and let's click on that there. And you'll see I already have several websites set up on my FastComet hosting. So you'll see here, this is my main domain, edherzog.com. And that one, as I show you later within File Manager, goes into the public HTML document route. The other ones go into a document route that is associated with the actual name of the website, but your main domain will be in public HTML. Then you do have options here for managing these sites. Now, if I click on that, it's actually going to tell me that no configuration options currently exist for the edherzog.com domain, but you do have options here. Create an email address, which I'll show you how to do later from a different way. Modify the zone. So if you want to, if you need to connect your website to something like CloudFlare, or if you need to, set up a different zone than what automatically comes with FastComet, you can come in here and edit the zone. So that's how you can do that. Now, if we come back out here, and let's go back to domains. If you buy a new domain, what happens is you always have what is called a main domain, and all the other domains are considered add-on domains. So again, as I showed you here, I've got the one main website, then all these here are add-on domains. So when I add a new domain to my account, when I buy a new URL, I come on here to add-on domains, and I just type in the name. It'll automatically create the document route, and then add domain. So it's very simple, but you don't do it through that first thing I showed you. You do it here on add-on domains. And here you can see I've got different add-on domains, and my main website, edherzog.com, does not show up here because it's not, it's my main website. Now I come back out here and come back here again. If you want to create a subdomain, so let's say I wanted to create a website called, let's say for jobs people and wanted to have something called jobs@edherzog.com. So I'd create a subdomain here, type in that, and then go ahead and create it. It shows I actually do have some subdomains. Not actually sure what these do. It seems like they're all connected somehow. It's like it must for some reason automatically create subdomains that are my add-on domains somehow related to my main domain. But if you wanted to, again, if you wanted to create something like here, they give blog@example.com. So if I wanted to do blog@edherzog.com or .edherzog.com, I just do it right here. So very simple process to set up subdomains. So now let me show you how to set up WordPress on your website if WordPress is what you want to use. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to type in soft. And again, this is what I want here. Again, I have no clue how to pronounce that, but go ahead and click on that. Now here it shows me I've got 3 installations already. 2 of them are outdated. I probably need to go into those websites and update the WordPress version. But we'll come over here and click on install. Now in my case, I've already got WordPress installed on my various websites, but I'll just show you, take you through how to do this. So you choose the version you want to install first. Obviously you want to install the most recent version. Then you're going to choose your installation URL. You've got 4 options here. So you've got HTTP without www, HTTP with www, HTTPS without www, and then HTTPS with www. I would suggest one of these last 2 here. Nowadays you really want to be using an HTTPS. It shows, you'll have to install the SSL certificate as well, but it shows that your website is secure. I think HTTP, this is really going away nowadays. 90+% of websites, as far as I know, are using these 2 here. So pick one of those 2 there. Then you'll choose your domain that you've, as I've showed you, already added to your website. In this case, I've already got, as I said, I've already got WordPress installed on one of these, but let's say I wanted to install it here on my wife's website. Let's say I just bought this for her. So click that. Then you give it a name. You can, we'll just call it Bogota Spanish. And give it a site description. Learn Spanish. If you need to enable multi-site, you can click on that right there. Then you're going to put a username in here. Again, it should be something that's memorable to you and that you don't want people to be able to guess. That's one way your website gets hacked. So you definitely don't want to use admin. Use something else. Then you will come here. You can type in a password. You can use this here. They've got a password generator that gives it an okay password. This here is saying 65 out of 100, but you can type in whatever you want. I would generally, my passwords for WordPress are about 20 characters long. I don't want my websites to be hacked. So, I would actually suggest going for something that's going to give you 100 out of 100 here, not just a 65 out of 100. Here you've got the admin email. I'll show you later how to set up emails. I generally just don't touch that there at all. Then you can choose a language. You've got here, I don't do anything at all with these here. I just leave those unchecked. Then under advanced options, here you can see the database name that's going to assign to it. You can, let's see here, you can enable auto upgrade. You can either not enable it, upgrade to minor versions only, or upgrade to any latest version, including major as well as minor. So you can, choose whichever one of those you want. Do the same thing for plugins or themes if you want to auto upgrade those. I generally don't. I like to do that manually. These are various themes. Again, I don't use those. I use Elementor. And then you click install, and that's it. It's pretty simple. And then WordPress will be installed on that particular URL. Now that's not everything that you'll need to do. You'll need to make sure that your what I'm looking for, that your zones are set up so that it's connected between FastComet and wherever you bought your URL. That will be another step that you'll need to do. I'm not going to go through that because this isn't a full tutorial on how to use on how to set up WordPress, and that's kind of outside the domain of this particular video. But there are some other steps to kind of get everything set up. This here I'm just focusing really on what's inside cPanel and what you can do within cPanel. But that is basically how you set up WordPress. Very, very simple. And once you click this install button, it will take maybe 1 minute to install. It's very, very quick. It's not a long process at all. Now, if you need to edit your DNS zones, I already showed you one way to do that, but you can also just come in here and type in zones, and you get here Zone Editor. Click on that, and then you can come over here. You could add them directly if you know what you want to add, or you can come over here. Normally you already have some set up. If you want to come in here and manage them, and again, you'll need to know what you're doing. You'll need to know what you'll need to change. That's not, it's going to depend on your individual circumstance. But here I can come in, delete them, edit them. If I wanted to, this is going to this right here. If I wanted to edit that record, I just click on that, and normally I would add in whatever the new kind of DNS zone was right there. So pretty simple to do that if you need to edit your zones. Now, the next thing I want to show you is File Manager. At least with WordPress, File Manager is where all your different files are stored, the ones that control how your website looks. It also is where your plugin files are stored, your theme files are stored, etc. If you're not using WordPress, again, I'm sorry, that's just not something I'm familiar with. I've always used WordPress, so that's not just not something I know about. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Go ahead and click on File Manager. And what I want to show you first is your primary website. Whether you have only one website or multiple websites, your files will always be stored in this here, what says public HTML. That will be your main website. It will not say your website name. Now, if you have other websites, they will be stored in folders that actually say the name of the website. So here is BogotaSpanish.com, which is my wife's website. This is actually not a website. It's one that I own the URL in order to do my affiliate marketing. And then edherzogbusiness.com is just a vanilla website that I use to do tutorials so I don't mess up my main website. So I've got those there. The structure, when you look inside of each of these, the structure will be basically the same. But just so you know, public HTML is your main website. So let's go ahead and open this up. And there are a couple of files that I want to show you first off that are very important. The first one here is this one here called htaccess. You never, ever, ever want to delete this file. If you don't have an htaccess file, people will not be able to access your website. Even you won't be able to access it. So this is a file that you always need. You can edit it, but you don't want to delete it. So I'm going to go ahead and open mine up. We'll go ahead and open in edit mode and click on that and open up over here. So what you see here at the top is that I use WP Rocket as my caching plugin. So this starts off by giving a lot of different instructions in terms of how my website should be cached by WP Rocket. I have it set up, you do sometimes need to give plugins access to your htaccess file so it can write to that file. So, I don't have to type this. This isn't stuff I typed in myself. It's stuff that WP Rocket automatically put into my htaccess file. So that's one of the things you'll see in here. You can also come down, I'll come down here and show you. The other thing that I've got is, right here it says NWP Rocket and then begin iTheme security. So this is my security plugin for my website, and again, it has permission to write to my htaccess file, so you'll see a bunch of instructions for how I want my security set up. And then there's some other things down here. But that is basically what an htaccess file looks like. You can edit this. You can add in other things, delete things. Sometimes, like if you change your security plugin or change your cache plugin, the old rules from that plugin will stay in here, And so, you may need to come in here and delete them manually. You want to look, again, as you can see here, let me scroll back up to the top. Let's say I switch another plugin, or different caching plugin. So I want to delete this stuff from WP Rocket. So I'd start here where it says begin WP Rocket, and then, come down to this here where it says end WP Rocket. And so I just eliminate all that. And then you can just come up here and you've got the Save Changes button. Same thing if for some reason you need to add text in here. Maybe you find something, somebody recommends on a website that you put on your htaccess file. You can just, you could make some spaces here. Just give yourself some more room and then copy and paste it here, and then save the changes. So, it's pretty easy to add things, delete things from this file. Again, you need to be careful. You need to have at least a little bit of idea of what you're doing. You don't want to eliminate things that, that are important. I don't want to eliminate my WP Rocket caching if I don't have another caching plugin set up, if I don't have other rules within here. So that is the htaccess file. The other one I want to show you is the robots text file. This gives instructions for Google and, accidentally downloaded that. Gives instructions for Google and other search engines for how to crawl your website. Now in my case, you're seeing here that, all I've got are my sitemaps listed there. But you may, for example, have instructions. You may want to tell Google and other search engines that there are certain pages on your website that you don't want to have crawled. So you can put those within here. Again, you'll need to find the exact instructions for how to do that. This is where you'd put those sort of instructions, is within your robots text file. Actually, open this up as view rather than edit, so you can't edit it here, but if I open it up in the edit mode, it looks exactly the same as the htaccess file in terms of editing. Very simple to edit this file. So those are two very important files that you want to make sure that you have within your file manager for each of your websites. I also mentioned, by the way, I forgot to mention this earlier, a lot of these files, I have no idea what they do. And I don't touch them. Again, for the most part, you don't want to touch things within your file manager. If things are working, leave them the way they are. You can delete things at your own risk. You can Google them and, see what people say. Is this file needed or is it not needed? If you find out it's not needed, what I would suggest is download that file first. That way, if for some reason deleting that file messes things up, you can then put it back within File Manager. So make sure, always before you delete something, if I wanted to delete this file here, I can just, come here and click on delete, but, I'd want to I've got an option to download it first. So I can download it, then delete it, and that way, if for some reason deleting that file messes things up, I can then just very easily put it back within File Manager. You've got here, up here, an upload button. So you can click on upload and then upload something from your website into File Manager very easily. Okay, so let me come up here. We now have, you'll see here, 3 files that you'll see within every, for each website that you have, you'll see a WP admin file, a WP content file, and a WP includes file. The WP admin and the WP includes files, I never open, I never look at them. We'll just take a quick look here to see what's inside of them, but I can tell you now, and again, in 7 years, I've never touched anything within here. So you see cache, CSS, images, includes, JavaScript, maintenance, network, and then all sorts of other files. No idea what those do. I don't touch those. Same thing here with WP includes. Seeing assets, blocks, certificates, CSS, customized fonts, etc. Just stuff I don't touch. But let's take a look at WP content. WP content, first of all, is where your plugins are stored, and then you come down here and see it's also where your themes are stored. You see here I've got Hello, Elementor, and Ocean WP. Those are 2 themes that if I went into my WordPress dashboard, I'd see those same themes on my WordPress dashboard. Now, one of the things, every once in a while I'll run into an issue where either I can't upload a theme or a plugin into my WordPress dashboard, or I can't delete one. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen every once in a while. So what you can do is you can come here into File Manager. Let's say you want to delete, let's say I don't want this here anymore, Hello Elementor. It's not, I use Ocean WP. I don't really need Hello Elementor. Let's say I want to delete that, and for some reason I can't do it from my WordPress dashboard. I can just come here and delete it. You know, just click there and delete it, and I've never had a problem deleting via File Manager. Same thing with uploading. You can also upload themes or plugins. You know, if for some, you know, you can do it just as a matter of course. You know, most of us use the WordPress dashboard, but you know, again, if you run into any issues, you can also upload things here. So, you know, you click on this upload button, find it on your computer. You want to upload it as a zipped file. It's very important. So you upload as a zip file. Once it appears here, you will then unzip it. You can see here, these themes are unzipped, right? So you want to make sure they're unzipped, otherwise they won't work. Same thing with a plugin. You want to upload it as a zip file, and then you want to unzip it. And the functions are right in here. Now I can't, you know, if you look here, it says compress. Let's go ahead, actually, we'll compress that. Actually, I won't. Yeah, let's go ahead. Click on Zip Archive. Let's refresh this. I've got to come back here to, sent me back to the beginning here. Come back into WP Content, into Themes. So now I've got a zip version here. Now, you know, so then I could come here, and now instead of compress, I've got an option to, oh, actually I do still have compress, wouldn't do much here, but now I do have an option to extract that. So again, if I had just uploaded this, I could then extract it and make it unzipped. Let me go ahead and delete this because I don't need that. So that's basically it. Again, I don't do a lot with File Manager. For me, the most important things are the htaccess file, the robots text file, and then, you know, sometimes doing some things with plugins or with themes directly within File Manager, rather than doing them within the WordPress dashboard. Now let's take a look and see how to change the PHP version of your website if you're using WordPress. PHP is a scripting language that sits behind WordPress and is generally best to have the most recent version that will help ensure that your website loads as quickly as possible. This is actually really simple. We'll just come up here and type in PHP and come down here, select PHP version. And you can see here, I've already got mine obviously to the most recent one, but if you didn't, you know, you would just come here, click that down arrow, and then select this one here. If for some reason you need to roll back to an earlier version, you can do that as well. You can see you've got 5.6, 7, 7.1, 2, and 3. So that's it. It's very, very simple if you need to change your PHP version. Now let's take a look at backups. If you need to restore a version, an earlier version of your website, with FastComet, you get either 7 or 30 days of backups, depending on which plan you're on. So I do want to say, though, that I do find the system of restoring backups to be a little confusing. I will normally contact customer support. As I've said in my review of FastComet, they have amazing customer support. They'll restore your website within a couple of minutes. You know, I just find it a lot easier to have them do it. But, you know, if you want to do it yourself, I will show you as much as I know. So as I understand it, generally what you want to do, I've already typed up, you know, back here, so you get Jet Backup here, which is a backup system. You generally want to install an earlier version of your files and of your database. You need to do those two things separately. So let's go here to Files. Now the file part isn't complicated at all. It's the other one that is, for me, a little confusing. So you come in here and, you know, here you can see I've got the 7 days. You know, I go back from June 12th up through June 18th. So let's say I want to restore this one from Sunday. I then come here to File Manager, and then I select the website that I want to restore. And again, if it's my main website, it'll be this one here that says public HTML. If it's one of the other websites, it will be, I'll pick the name here, and then I will go ahead and start the restore. Not going to do that because I don't want to mess things up on my websites, but that is the process for doing the file restore. If we come back here, then we also need to do the database backup. Here's where, for me, it gets a little more complicated. Now, if you only have one website, it's not going to be that difficult. But if you have multiple websites, here's my problem, is you look here, it says Ed Herzog TR2. It's got from Friday up through, from June 12th up through June 18th. Here I've got TR3, again, going the same days. Here I've got WP 462. So it puts this code here that is associated with my various websites, but I don't know which code goes with which website. I've got, again, about 4 different URLs, and I have no clue. And so, if I only had one website, it would obviously be very easy to tell. But with these multiple kind of codes that make no sense to me, I don't know which one I need to restore. If I need to restore my wife's website, which one is hers? If I need to restore my website, which one is mine? I have no clue. I can keep going here and you'll just see the same. Again, WP 462, now we get WP 545, WPZ down here at the bottom. So again, I just find it much easier to have customer support do it. But again, if you want to do it yourself, if you know which of these goes with which website, or if you only have one website, obviously it would be very easy to tell. Again, you would just come over, pick the day you want and click on restore, and it should be restored to that earlier version within a couple minutes. So again, you can either do it manually, or as I said, I just have customer support do it. I just find it a lot easier. Again, FastComet does have quite amazing customer support. Okay, now let's take a look at how to set up email accounts on FastComet on cPanel. So I'm going to come up here and type in mail. Oops. And go here to email accounts. Now, I already have various accounts set up for my websites. For my main website, I use ed@edherzog.com. But let's say I also want to have an email that's called info@edherzog.com. So I click here on create. And it's already showing the domain. I could change that if for some reason I wanted to set up for a different domain. But I'm not going to do that. I will go ahead and put in info right here. So now you can see I'm creating info@edherzog.com. Go ahead, and I'm not really going to use this account, but I can just go ahead and generate a password. Go ahead and, that password is not, again, I'm not going to use that, so it doesn't really matter. Here I can set up my storage space amount. I always just keep the defaults. I don't, really mess with anything. But, you can change that. You can also set up automatically create folders for plus addressing. Again, I just keep that the way it is. This will send you a welcome email with instructions on how to set up the mail client. Again, I always just keep that the way it is, and then I click on create. And so now we have this new email called info@edherzog.com. So there it is, it's created. Now, in order to read your email, it's very simple. Just click on check email. Now you have two options. It will either, when you first access it, you either have something called Horde or something called Roundcube. I'm not sure there's really much of a difference. This here I'm using Horde, as you can see up here. But here I can get access to all my different messages. And here's the important thing though. I do forward my messages to my main Gmail account. I'll show you how to do that in a second. But if I want to reply to a message using this email address, using ed@edherzog.com, I do need to log in here and come into this right here. And so, then if I wanted to just find a message here, if I want to reply here to Brian@growthtools.com, I just hit reply, and then he'll get a reply that will come from ed@edherzog.com. So, and again, this is like any other mail client. You can reply, forward, delete, create new messages. Here's the draft, sent, spam, trash, etc. So, that's basically how you go in and create an account and then access it. Now, if you come out here, close that. You also have options here for managing your email account. So again, if you wanted to change some things from when you originally set it up, you can different password, different storage settings. It gives you some other options here that you didn't have when you first created the account. You can also delete it down, at the bottom here. So you've got some options for managing your email account there as well. There's also this option here It says connect devices. I've never used that before. Let's see. It says something for when you access an email account through a desktop email application such as iOS for iPhone, iPad, iPod, etc. Okay, if that's something you're interested in, you can take a look at this. Again, I've never used it. It's not something that I found personally of value, but you can take a look at this. They do have that option if that makes sense to you, if this is something that you want to do. Now I want to show you how to set up an email forwarder. So let's go here and type in forward, and we'll come here to forwarders. And you can see I already got these set up, right? ed@edherzog.com goes to edherzog2@gmail.com. This one here also goes to gmail.com. Most of these go here to gmail.com, and then my wife's also goes to her Gmail. So you can just come here and click on Add Forwarder. And here, I just created that info@edherzog.com. So again, we can see it says info@edherzog.com. And then we want to forward it to, again, to edherzog2@gmail.com. And we'll click on Add Forwarder. And it says all emails sent to info@edherzog.com will now be copied to edherzog2@gmail.com. And we go back here and we now see it, yeah, there it is right here, info@edherzog.com goes there as well. So very easy to set up email system and forwarders, yeah, it's not that difficult, not that complicated. Okay, now let's take a look at SSL certificates. So we can come in here and type that. Now the SSL certificate that you get with the intro and kind of the mid-tier plan with FastComet is Let's Encrypt. If you have the higher level plan, there's another one that you get as well, but I've got the mid-tier plan. So here you can click on that, and it says here it's an effort to provide free domain validated certificates in an automated fashion. This page provides a facility to issue certificates via the Let's Encrypt service. Certificates issued here will be renewed automatically. Now here, you can, if you want to remove them, this gives you the option to reinstall it if you, for some reason, need to do that. And then if you need to issue a new certificate, again, I already got mine obviously issued for all my different websites, but if you need, if I had a website here that didn't have one, I could do it here via this here. Again, if you run into any issues with the SSL certificates, just contact FastComet customer support. They're amazing. They'll get you taken care of in no time at all. But again, if you want to do it yourself, you do have some options here within this Let's Encrypt SSL thing right here. Now let's take a look at the CloudFlare and FastComet integration. Now, if you're not familiar with CloudFlare, it's a CDN that you can use to speed up your website throughout the world. They have a free version, which in many cases is more than sufficient. It's what I personally use. Now, you will need to go onto CloudFlare and create a free account and connect CloudFlare with FastComet, which again isn't really what I want to get into in this particular tutorial because I'm really focused more on what you can do within the cPanel itself. So we can come here and type in CloudFlare, and you've got that option right there. I've already got it open here on my website. So as you can see, I've already got several websites connected to CloudFlare and then also connected to FastComet. And then what I can do here is I can actually manage my CloudFlare settings within FastComet, within the FastComet cPanel. So, these here, what you're looking at, these are actually settings that are within CloudFlare itself. So I can change it. I can turn things on and off. I can change the caching level. Here I can purge the cache. So I've got those options there. Here I can come over here to domains. Now here it shows I've got the free website. It shows my CloudFlare is active. Those are the DNS names, zone names again. Here I've got more settings, so I can change security level, etc. So you've got all these options here that, again, these are CloudFlare options that you can manage within FastComet cPanel rather than going to CloudFlare and managing them that way. And then you've also got here analytics. So you can see some analytics for your website. And as you see, I had it turned off for a while, but recently turned it back on. So you can see the requests I'm getting via Cloudflare. You've got bandwidth, unique visitors, threats, etc. So this is all Cloudflare stuff that you can take a look at, change, modify, etc. within FastComet. So that is my tutorial on how to use FastComet, on how to use the cPanel that comes with FastComet. And again, this will probably help you if you use a different hosting system as well that uses cPanel. If you have any questions about how to do any of this, please let me know. I'll do my best to answer any questions you might have. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. I've got a lot more videos coming out, videos to help you build and grow your online business. And finally, if you do decide to buy FastComet hosting, which again, in my opinion, is easily one of the best hosting companies out there, I will put my affiliate link in the description of the video below. I do appreciate it if you buy via my affiliate link. It gives me a small commission. It allows me to continue to create 100% free content. So that is it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.